Okay, fellas, back in Kickstart Garage, and here we are. We have Basil and BS3 Himalayan that has been worked on. So that is what happens when you are a little just one tiny bit, when you push it a little bit more than required and you try water, this is what happens. For all the fellows who keep riding in water, a simple warning of sorts: if you know that your motorcycle has gotten into water, kindly kill the engine, try and drain the water through the exhaust and let it be. Do not crank the engine and keep riding, is because when you start riding, your oil kind of emulsifies, and when it emulsifies, it will not be pumped via the oil pump like the way it's supposed to be pumped, and it will kind of become a clogged liquid. Your engine will overheat and there's a very high chance of a seizure. So it's best to put the motorcycle on a trolley and get it back home. Do not ride when you know for a fact that your engine has sucked in water, through the air filter. It is a must that you do not continue riding 5 to 10 kilometers max, and you're looking at eternal damage, some serious engine damage. And this is how you know that your oil has emulsified. It starts looking like milkshake instead of clear transparent liquid. So this is dangerous for the internals of the engine. And another big advice that I can give you is, if this happens, do flush the engine with regular oil once, cheaper oil, and then go ahead, put your semi-synthetic oil if you want to. Otherwise, the new oil, the brand new oil that you put in after this, kind of starts emulsifying because of the remnants. Whatever is left inside the crankcase will start emulsifying the new engine oil. So a must that you stop riding and you put the bike on a trolley and get it back home. Otherwise, you're looking at serious engine damage. Interesting that the day I got back to Kickstart Garage, I got to see something like that. Catastrophic damage if you continue riding. So the idea is not riding above this level of water. This is a good level of water, and not above. It's because you're looking at the air filter starting to suck in water. The Himalayan's air filter design is a bit of a compromise. It sucks in air from here and from here. So both from the front and the rear, if you were to have a nice dip, if you make a submarine out of your motorcycle, then you're looking at water being sucked in. Unlike most motorcycles, the Japanese motorcycles that have a vent and open there for the air filter, Himalayan's air filter sucks in air at this level. So be mindful of that. This is definitely an adventure motorcycle, but not a hardcore dual sport. Yeah, so the best way you get to know that your oil has started emulsifying is through the sight window. You will start seeing milkshake instead of transparent oil here. And that is what comes out of your air filters when you're all the time off-roading. So for the fellows who want to know what your air filter filters when you do a lot of off-road riding, is this silica, sand, truckloads of it. Look at this, come on. So an air filter full of sand and emulsified oil. So what Basil did, which I did not capture just a while ago, is he put in regular oil. Basil flush oil is first round. So he's just gone in with one round of oil, and it still is emulsified. So that is how badly the engine has been hit with the water. So for all the fellows who love doing stunts on water, kindly be mindful that the Himalayan has a terrible design where it sucks in water from here a little too quickly. If only the air filter box had an opening on top underneath the seat, things would have been different. And that's a Continental GT, which I also had once, being serviced. Love this motorcycle. Love this motorcycle. I like it way more than the new Continental GTs, because this thing has character. Serious character. All that oxidation happens because you stay somewhere near the shore, that is the coastline. This is what happens when you stay pretty close to the beach. So what Basil suggests is that open the clutch cover, remove the clutch, or look into the components and clean them thoroughly. Petrol alle Basil? എന്തുകൊണ്ട്
പെട്രോൾ വന്നിട്ട് ചില സ്ഥലത്ത് യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റില്ല. യൂസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഓയിൽ സീൽ എല്ലാം വന്നിട്ട് ഹാർഡായി പോകും.
എന്താ യൂസ് ചെയ്യാൻ പോകുന്നത്?
ബെറ്റർ ദാൻ പെട്രോൾ, അതർവൈസ് ചെയിൻ ലൂബ്, ചെയിൻ ക്ലീനർ.
Okay, chain cleaner or diesel to clean the internal components, and then only then
Your favorite WD-40 also.
yeah, or the WD-40, and then shove things back in and things ought to be fine. That's the third flush, by the way. Used engine oil, put back again, flushed. So yeah, that's what happens when you're a little over enthusiastic with the Himalayan. This is a BS3, by the way. So for all the fellows who want to know how good a BS3 is, this motorcycle has seen nothing but dirt. The owner of the bike has only been riding dirt, and that's testimony for all of you folks. And if you look at the chassis, no cracks, no nothing. Yes, of course, the BSC did use a little bit of weak, poor metal here and there. And yeah, I don't see any cracks in the patch welds, nothing. Support welds, no cracks developing in the collar as well. So that is certain BS3s which were very well built. Of course, the magneto has been changed multiple times. What else has been changed in this, Basil?
Actually, magneto, T-stem bearing.
T-stem bearing, the usual wear and tear. BS3 did have problems with the magneto coil. It did have problems with the rectifier. It also had problems with battery related, the rectifier, the alternator, and related components. So if you guys have taken care of it once, maybe things will settle down. Stock motorcycle, stock suspension, stock exhaust or the silencer, everything is stock. He has removed his tail section, made it more like a tail tidy.
It is continuously broken.
So yeah, the BS3 also had a problem with this. This used to break more often than on the BS4s. I don't think any BS4 would complain about rear tail section breaking. A different tire, I think this is an Apollo. Yeah, Apollo tire. So in my experience, I've had a friend, I've had a very close friend use this on his motorcycle. The stock Seat I like better on off-road terrain. But on road, as an all-rounder, the only advantage to having an Apollo I've felt is that this has longevity compared to the stock Seats. Love the carburetors, man. Love the carburetors. If I had a carbureted Himalayan, I would all the time be trying to boost the powers, because it's a piece of cake to extract about 2 to 5 horsepower if you have a carburetor. You can do all sorts of upgrades with a carbureted engine. What else have we got here? Some paint chipping here, the patch weld. Of course, he can take care of that. A totally new sum guard. This has been customized by the owner. He's made a custom sum guard which kind of covers the chassis. If you see, it is an extended model. It takes care of your exhaust system as well. So no hitting, so that the rocks don't get to the bend pipe, and quite interesting. Not the usual aluminium. Looks like a more sturdy material. Then yeah, just looks like it. I'm not sure about how good this is. That's the whole of it. Just a very, very basic, nothing. Only an upgrade to the handlebar and some knuckle guards as well. That's about it. Nothing more, nothing serious. For all the fellows who want to know what happens when there is water ingestion. And first and foremost, I see a lot of rust. That is not supposed to happen unless there has been water that has gotten into this motorcycle before. And then no matter how much, because I recall having this happen to me twice, and no matter how much you try and flush, there will still be a lot of milky white water or engine oil, and this can only be accessed when you open the clutch cover and you go ahead and try and clean it with like Basil said, use diesel and clean it. So yep, that is what you get to see. Plenty of remnants. At least look at that gel, lovely paste coming out, and this can only be accessed if you open the case. So, yep, another informative video for all the fellows who intend on riding in water. Come back home, get it checked. So Basil added a point, what I skipped. Your air box has the crankcase breather hose coming out from the bottom of it. It's the crankcase breather that sucks in water, and that is how it travels from there underneath and from here. So this is how the oil circulation goes on, and of course the oil pump would have shoved a lot, would have definitely pumped a lot of oil to the head as well. 3-4 times of flushing is what he plans for doing the rest of the day, and then put things back together. Anyways, for all the fellows, if this helped, it helped, like I always say. If you like the video, give it a big thumbs up, and I shall definitely see you on another one in Kickstart Garage with Basil and team.